What's going on, everybody? Rob A here, and today we're taking a look at Bumblebee movie, Energon Ignitors. Now, these are officially the Speed series. Basically, these are the Legion class figures from the Bumblebee movie, and I've got the first wave of these figures here, which consists of Bumblebee, of course, Barricade, and Optimus Prime, and they all look pretty neat. They look like decent figures. Now, I can't quite tell. I think this guy might be a repaint or retool of a Hot Rod figure from another line, or maybe Hot Rod figure is a retool of this figure. But either way, I don't know for sure. I'm sure you guys all know and are totally experts on that. But they look cool. Either way, Bumblebee is little VW bug mode, which is pretty neat to see him as this. And of course, Energon Ignitors, you've got this little motor doohickey that's available in other figures, but not this one. But it is compatible, apparently, with this figure, and I don't know if it's just like it's a little push down and it makes the car go, which is neat, I guess. But I don't really think that's something that I need. So yeah, like I said, we have Bumblebee, Barricade, and of course Optimus Prime, who is kind of his movie-verse the robot mode, and of course his more G1-ish alt mode, or evasion mode if you want to kind of call it that. That's fine too. So yeah, without further ado, there's not really too much else to say about these guys. It doesn't really say on here how many steps they transform in, which is kind of a new deal. They've been doing that a lot lately, and it's interesting to see them kind of move away from that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys open, and we will check them out right now. Alright guys, so here we have the Bumblebee Energon Ignitors Speed Series Excelsior 5.0 Cookie Duster. And and yeah, I mean they are Legion class figures. And that should tell you pretty much most of what you need to know. But the thing is, are they fun Legion class figures? So let's take a look at that. So let's go ahead and start with Optimus Prime here. So as you can see, he rolls quite nicely, which is pretty cool. And that should be, if they're called Speed Series, I assume that means it's because they're meant to be plugged in here to the Energon Igniter thing, and then you do whatever with that, and it will shoot these guys off into the distance. But yeah, the wheels, even though, they are all of these wheels are in fact bolted on. That's pretty cool, because it's not that way with, certainly not Bumblebee, which leads me to believe that maybe I was right and these are previously used molds for something, but, you know, I'm not entirely sure still, so do take that with a grain of salt. But you can see a very decent Optimus Prime kind of G1 cab over mode here. Some nice silver paint work on the grill and bumper, and then the rest is pretty much just red. There's a little bit of black plastic and some nice metallic blue paint here, but that's really all there is to it. Now, of course, then there is a sculpted Autobot logo right there. So transformation is pretty simple and pretty Optimus Prime. You're just going to go ahead and swing these bits out from the side here. Bring the arms around. And that's pretty much the arms done. Then you're going to go ahead, we'll want to swing these up out of the way, because we're going to take this whole section here and just swing it right around. And then we're just going to bring this hip piece back. And that's just going to pop into place right like that. And then of course we're just going to flip up this part with the head on it. Separate the legs, and there you go. The legs, unfortunately, are just one solid piece. They have no knee joint, probably just because there's no joint there necessary for transformation. The trade-off is that you do get a elbow joint on this figure. However, the way that he transforms does not really give you an option for a shoulder ball joint, which most of these do have, so you are limited. You can't lift the arm up at all, so it does interfere with that elbow joint a little bit. But you can swing this back and bring this up. He does, however, have a sort of a waist swivel, which is pretty unique on figures of this size. So let's take a quick look at the paintwork on the robot mode. You can see some decent paint on the head sculpt there. You got the chest windows, and that's really it. You got the blue here on the legs again, but that's really it for paint. But he is a nice little Optimus Prime figure. You know, you've got that kind of evasion mode going on, and overall, yeah, I think it looks pretty neat. So he does have a bumper butt, and just hollow nothing in the back there. So you know, if that bothers you, then that will continue to bother you. But other than that, it's a pretty decent figure. Let's take a quick look at Barricade here. Also rolls fairly well, not quite as nicely as Prime does. But he does have the pinned on wheels. You can see they actually use the pins on the outside to represent hubcaps, which I think works really, really nicely. And he is an old-timey kind of police car, like a muscle car going on there. And it works well. You got the port here for the Energon igniter, but it does look like just a regular 5mm port, so you could pretty much use whatever you'd like on there. You could probably attach one of these here figures to it. Yep, there you go. So you could have him drag Bludgeon down the road if you really wanted to. But yeah, it's a pretty decent looking police car. You can see the Decepticon logo printed on the side there. We got some paint on the light bar, and then just a little paint on the front grille, and even the taillights are actually painted in, which is kind of a nice touch on a figure of this size. Transformation is super simple. We're going to go ahead and basically split it all in half. Want to separate the arms from the side, just like that. Bring the front down, and then the legs are going to unfold like that, and they do stop right there, but you bring them forward and then you swing the foot kind of back just like that, so they're going to sit in an angle, or should I say stand in an angle, I guess is the proper term. But bring this down, and then he actually does stand. So again, I don't know, like, I know I've seen pictures of this figure as Hot Rod, or Rodimus Prime, or whatever you want to call him, but I'm not sure if it's a previous mold that was retooled into this figure, or if this figure is going to be repainted as Hot Rod. I really don't know. I haven't been following all of that carefully, so I do apologize for my ignorance, but there you have it. It is a decent representation of Barricade. I don't know, you know, if he's actually in the Bumblebee movie. I assume he's going to be. I don't know if his face will actually look like this or not, or if they're going to give him a little more normal face or arms, or, you know, all that stuff. But he does have ball jointed arms. They can go all the way around. His shoulders can go out a little bit like that. No elbow joint on this guy, which is a disappointment because his arms are so long that it looks kind of funny. The hips are ball joints. He does have a sort of an elbow bend, but because of the way that his legs work, it doesn't really look natural in any kind of way, shape, or form. He does actually have a little foot pivot, so you can stand him a little bit, you know, at an angle if you so desire. But yeah, overall, a pretty decent Barricade figure. And then last but certainly not least, we've got Bumblebee. He's a little yellow beetle. It's pretty adorable, except for this big stupid thing sticking out of the back of his vehicle mode, which is a real bummer. It looks pretty noticeable, and his wheels are all pinned on, or not pinned on, clipped on, I should say. So he rolls, but he does not roll quite as straight as the others do. So just be aware of that. But he still does roll pretty well. You can get some decent speed, but the accuracy is simply not there because of the friction of the wheels. Kind of drags him off to one side or the other. But he does look really nice. He's got paint on almost all of his windows. This nice kind of metallic-y blue charcoal color on everything except the rear window, only probably because it, you know, splits in 4 different spots. But you get all of it on the other side. You got headlights and the front bumper, and again, nothing on the back, probably because of this big dumb thing in the middle here. But it's not the end of the world. It's just ugly looking. But other than that, it's okay. And you can see B on the other side here. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go ahead and lift the entire back of the vehicle, as we do in a lot of cases. We're going to go ahead and flip his little feet out. Hopefully without too much hubbub. There we go. And they're going to pop right like that. Get this foot. Come on, buddy. There we go. So those are his legs. I'm going to bring his arms down like so. And you can see there's a little spot in his chest here and a tab up above there. So we're just going to go ahead and bring this down. And actually we'll take a moment to notice the pretty nice detailing sculpting work in there, which you don't really pay attention to, but it's nice that they added it. And then just clip his the hood of the car down on his chest. And there you have Bumblebee in robot mode. And he's got ball-jointed shoulders. They are very tight, though. Just be careful. So you can get some decent poses out of that guy there. You do have ball-jointed hips. And you do have a knee bend, but again, because of this, excuse me, because of this thing here, it is going to pop out when you bend that knee and look really, really bad. And on this side, it's not really much better. So you do have posability in the knees, but it's just not going to look so great when you do. But you can do this kind of like Superman jump. So you got that going on. But other than that, he stands really nicely. Get a decent A stance from him. And he looks decent from the side. Okay from the back. Nothing too crazy going on there. And overall, it's just a nice little figure, and it's really nice to have a Bumblebee bug. Just because, like, I don't know, the vehicle mode is just so iconic and adorable that it's really nice to have a small pocket-sized version of this character. And we'll just give you a close-up of the head sculpt so you can kind of see everything that's going on there. It looks nice. It's very simple, but it's well done, and it looks nice, I feel. So yeah, that is Wave 1 of the Bumblebee movie Energon Ignitors Speed Series, also known as the Legion class figures. And overall, I think it's a solid wave. They're nicely done. They have nice little paint apps here and there, and of course they roll well and do what they're meant to do. So they're fun little pocket-sized figures, and I'm quite pleased with them. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you so very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.